Okay, so let's bring in our public affairs analyst, Mr. Fetayo. Mr. Fetayo, thank you so much for coming on the program. It's good to have you.
Good morning from this end.
Okay, wherever that side is.
No, I'm just your neighbor. I'm in Ogun State with you.
Okay, no problem. We're just a stone throw away. Let's get to the first paper. That's the New Telegraph. New Telegraph is leading with ongoing constitutional review exercise in futility, says Sergey. Ongoing constitutional review exercise in futility, so Professor Sergey says, kicks against NAS state's creation move. So there are so many, I can't remember the exact number, but I've seen a couple of the things that, Mr. Fetayo, the things that they want to review. Some are very bright ideas, some, I know it's not going to go anywhere because of history. But the issue of state creation is perhaps the one that Professor Sergey is talking about here. What do you make of some of the provisions that are itemized to be amended in the Constitution and certain inclusions that have also been brought in by the National Assembly, through the people by the National Assembly?
You know, there's one thing to do a review and there's another thing to implement it. You and I, you will agree with me that we have several constitutional review, let them do this, confab, etc., and nothing has been done. And some of our politicians these days are trying to be corrected. If it's not beneficial to them, they hardly implement it. All these state creation, not state creation, even the ones that have been created, how are they being funded? How are they fair so far? Are people enjoying the dividends of democracy? You know, so all this one coming up with another one, at least, you know, many a times when they said they should review budget, by the time you are seeing it, you see a lot of padding, something that will benefit them especially. So just like the legal luminary said, it's just a, what's it called? It's just an exercise in futility. I don't think we need that. They should look in what's already in existence and make it better so that people can feel the governance, the good governance that the administration or whoever is in power promises.
Somewhere at the bottom of the New Telegraph, before I let you go on this particular paper, 2027, opposition still in disarray as PDP INEC meeting ends in a deadlock. INEC had a meeting with the PDP yesterday. Well, as the writers, SDP, NWC allegedly suspends national chairman and two others. I don't know, we didn't see this coming. Metu Ologbodiyan, ex-official members tackle Damagun over attack on Ologun Agba. So you can say the PDP met with INEC yesterday. I listened to the INEC chairman. He was simply telling them, go back, put your house in order. We're primarily not your problem. Just find out who your secretary is and then communicate with us. That's perhaps a summary of what he was saying. And now the issue around releases or pressers from Ologun Agba, who is the National Publicity Secretary, as to whether he has the authority or he was authorized by the NWC or not to send those releases that are causing controversy. Mr. Fetayo.
Yes, just like you said, if you don't put your house in order, even your neighbor will tell you how to rule your own houses. And I think INEC has done a good job to be independent. We will not be the one to put your house in order. Do whatever is necessary. Tell us who your secretary, tell us who your national chairman, whatever it is, and then we go by that. If they want to make a meaningful impact, they need to resolve their issue, internal crisis, amicably. And it's just like I think the governor of Zamfara, who said that problem in PDP is the issue of ego. So everybody should calm down, like they say Yoruba Farabale. So you should just let go and let it be a win-win situation. You can't have it all the time. So somebody should check in, somebody should sacrifice, and for the interest of peace and for them to make a meaningful impact come 2027.
Brilliant. So let's head over to the Guardian newspaper this morning, Mr. Fetayo, and listen to the headline: 2024 to 2025 fiscal policy crisis. Project funding execution stall over poor budget implementation. And you know, just days ago, there were reports that the National Assembly was extending the 2024 budget execution. And, you know, we're just talking about the need for the ministries to communicate more their activity. So what sense are you making of this project funding and the stalling of the implementation? What sense are you making of it with regards to the 2024 and 2025 budget? And more importantly, how it is impacting on the economy?
Yeah. You see, it's just worrisome that 2024 budget, as even almost half of the year into 2025, we are battling with funding, we are battling with execution. You will hear that contractor has moved out of sight because it was not properly funded. I thought that money had been budgeted for. Where did it go to? Who are the people, you know, disbursing these funds? You know, and sometimes because of this anti-party crisis and all of that, it doesn't allow smooth implementation of budget. I think if you cannot perform, it's done on whoever that is the leader, whether at the federal level or at the state level, to ease them out, you know, because it's affecting the Nigeria, the masses, who are the most beneficial of whatever infrastructure, whatever implementation they want to do. So if you are not fit to be in an office, you should excuse yourself, or you should be shown a way out. So all these talking about 2024 budget implementation and funding, I think everything has been provided for. So why are we having difficulties in funding a project that we, you know, have impact in the life of people? If you are not ready to lead, then just excuse yourself. But it's very difficult for somebody to excuse himself or herself in the position of authority in Nigeria. I've seen a member, even in UK, because he came late to the House of Lords, he resigned. But we can't have that here. That's to show discipline when it comes to leadership.
It's a valid point that you have made. But before we leave this story, what questions should we be asking as far as the budget of ministries is concerned? Because if you look at certain aspects or locations of governance, it doesn't look like they're suffering from lack of funding. The FCT, for instance, there has been, you know, flurry of commissioning of projects, and that speaks to the timely release of funds to contractors to execute budgets. So what questions should we be asking of ministries that are not getting their funding for the execution of their projects, and why?
Yes, we should be asking, who is disbursing this fund? How much has been released so far? What are the percentage in terms of execution? If you say you need 5 naira, what have you done with 3 naira that have been released? Even from the contractor himself, we should be asking them, how much have you gotten so far? Because we know ABC was budgeted for this project or to fund this project. And even from the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Works, or the supervising ministry or consultant, everybody needs to be asking questions from them that, what have you done so far with what have been released, so that we will know where our problem lies, or who is the person, or you are using it for another thing entirely. So those are the questions. Even anti-graft should come in and look at how much have you released so far, how much has been expended, what are the level of work done in this project or whatever that have been budgeted for. So those are the questions. We shouldn't be asking for how are they be funding what had been budgeted for since last year. It's just terrible. It's just a pity. I'm sorry to use the word, that is terrible that we're discussing about budget implementation and funding, and where other ministries are making wave, just like you said, FCT and all of that.
All right.
Well, Jeffrey, go ahead.
Let's get to the next paper. Yes, Nigerian News Direct. That's the one we're looking at now. 2027, Barau, that's the DSP, Deputy Senate President, dismisses running mate speculations, tells supporters to back Tinubu's agenda. Mr. Feta, it appears that this running mate matter is not like there's a truth to it. We don't know. We're hearing Barau, we're hearing Ganduje. People are saying, no, we haven't come to that point yet.
Even
the president has he reserves the right to pick who he wants. And so this has been an internal issue that the APC is trying to manage. But what do you make of it?
Yes, it's going to come up. You know, I mean, we dealt with the issue of a Muslim ticket I'm sure definitely it will be part of the agenda that will shape 2027. Of course, some of these people, directly or indirectly, they will be putting themselves out there, or their followers or some psychophans that are following them, release press releases. You know, I also saw a report that said Dogara will be a preferred candidate and all of that. All these are political politicking leading to 2027. But just like you said,
Okay. Mr. Fetayo, we must thank you so much for coming on the pro. Okay. Maybe you can land on your thoughts. We didn't hear you for a moment.
Still
okay,
have...
I think it's different. Okay. Mr. Fetayo, thank you so much. Mr. Fetayo is a public affairs analyst and a journalist. Thank you so much for coming on the program, for helping us break it down as far as the issues are concerned on the dailies. But we'll come back in just a moment to find out what you're saying on the pages of the social media before we get to the very first conversation for the day with Kelvin Emmanuel on Tinubunomics. Join us again.